Normally we don't play live tracks on KBEAR, but that one certainly felt like an exception. It is Peaches here on KBEAR 101. Youngblood did an outstanding job covering changes with a variety of other musicians. Nino Betancourt, Frank Bello, Adam Wakeman, and also Sleep Token's drummer 2 on stage with him. You know, it's the day after the legendary Ozzy Osbourne has passed away. Radio stations across the country, around the world, are paying tribute to the Prince of Darkness. Without Ozzy, there simply would not be heavy metal. And I so wish I could go back to the year 1970 in a time machine, listen to that Black Sabbath self-titled debut album at the time. I bet it was life-changing. You know, and the rest is history. There won't be non-stop Ozzy and Black Sabbath tracks for the afternoon like last night, but if you do have a request for one, I can certainly try to get it on the air. 208-535-1015. I shared that story about my dad meeting Ozzy in Long Beach, California back in 2022. That whole story is on my Facebook, Brendan Peach, and I also shared it in the KBEAR 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. I will certainly start the show with a few tracks that I couldn't play yesterday just because we didn't have copies of them. So I have Secret Loser from his 1986 album, The Ultimate Sin, on the way here shortly. Again, it's Peach's Pit Party on KBEAR 101. Whoops, I accidentally said Secret Loser, and that song is coming after this other one from Ozzy that, it was on his album, Ordinary Man. When was that released? 2020? I loved it. I thought it was like a great last album. I didn't realize he would release yet another one, Patient Number 9, a couple years later, and I certainly liked this track off of that album featuring Post Malone. It's very rare that we ever play a artist like Post Malone on KBEAR, but this one is one true exception. It's a Raid on KBEAR 101. There have been tons and tons of clips re-uploaded to YouTube, social media, all over the internet, and it's been quite funny to watch some of the recent podcast highlights. That podcast that he was doing with his whole family was hilarious. And Ozzy had some just little things here and there. Sharon was talking about how women weren't allowed to have credit cards until 1975 or 1976, something along the lines of that. And just out of nowhere, Ozzy just goes, "That was a good law." Just way out of pocket, I know, but it was just one of the many things I've watched today. Just, you know, thinking about Ozzy, thinking about not even a guy that I knew. You know, everybody just loved the guy. Overall, I need to go back and watch the show, The Osbournes. I have never seen the show. I've seen clips here and there. I think it was on before I was even allowed to watch stuff like that on TV. When did The Osbournes even come out? It first aired March 5th, 2002, and ended in 2005. How old was I in 2002? Let's see here. Let me do some quick math. 6 years old. Yeah, I was 6 back in 2002. I know, just a baby. I can hear those comments now, even though I'm nearly 30 now. But, you know, the Osbournes, there's only 4 seasons. That could be a quick watch. Every episode's like 24 minutes long. I think I shared a whole bunch of clips to Victor this morning on Facebook Messenger, and there was that one where Sharon put a bubble machine on stage, and he started freaking out, yelling at how he's the Prince of Darkness. He doesn't need bubbles. Another hilarious clip that Conan O'Brien's team uploaded to YouTube was Ozzy coming to the late night offices just right after 9/11. It was like October 18th, 2001, and everybody needed cheering up. So Conan invited Ozzy, and they had some, behind-the-scenes antics there. And then he also performed, too. It's on YouTube. Late Night with Conan O'Brien, Ozzy cheers up the office. That's what it's called, I believe. I wanted to move on to a hefty track from Youngblood again, just because Ozzy had such high praise for the guy, and there was like all these conspiracy theories that he's Ozzy's long-lost son, stuff like that, you know. Youngblood, quite the entertainer. I played this when it first came out because I thought it was such an amazing track. It's certainly a long one. It's like 9 minutes and 16 seconds. 9 minutes and 6 seconds. There you go. It's called Hello, Heaven, Hello. Enjoy this one. Yesterday, to each their own, during the 4 p.m. hour, I did What's Your Favorite Ozzy or Black Sabbath track? just, felt right. I didn't get that many calls. I just, I think the listeners were like, yeah, we'll let you handle the Black Sabbath tribute, play all the songs that I could for the span of 3 hours. And I started with my personal favorite, I Don't Want to Stop, then went into Let Me Hear You Scream, then went into the classic Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, all the way. Now, the thing that sucked is that, the last part of the show, I end up leaving at 5 p.m. every single day. And the show ends at 7, so I had everything lined up before I got up on out of here. And I didn't realize that some of the songs didn't air. I had the whole thing. I had Black Sabbath, one Black Sabbath track did not air. Then there was 2 Ozzy tracks at the very end that I wanted as the grand finale that just for some reason we ran out of time for. Dreamer and then his track Goodbye. Just did not play before Hard Drive XL got on the air at 7 p.m. And I don't necessarily know if Lou, I think I heard the very first part of Hard Drive XL last night. There wasn't too much Ozzy talk. I don't know if it's because, he already had that show sent in to us. And then the news, Ozzy passed away. I mean, the news popped up at noon yesterday our time. And I know Lou Brutus is on the East Coast, so it would have been 2 p.m. for him. There would have been a whole lot of scrambling for him to, get a whole new show put out there for all the radio stations that he's on. So I think today there might be some even bigger celebration, bigger tribute for the Ozzy Osbourne. Yesterday was absolutely insane. I talked about it last night. Even put it on the Facebook post that I made about how Victor and I we were just doing the noon hour of madness and mayhem, and we were doing the Weird Al Yankovic ticket giveaway. Gave away tickets to our first winner. And then all of a sudden, right as I opened up Facebook to dig for content, sure enough, Ozzy Osbourne dead at 76, posted a minute ago by TMZ. So we immediately scrapped the break that we already had pre-recorded for that hour and then got rid of all the other songs that were lined up and just started lining up Ozzy Black Sabbath tracks. And, and then also I had that whole predicament for my show where I had an interview with Molly of Living Dead Girl, who's awesome. She was great. But I had the whole first part of the show pre-recorded, could not do anything otherwise. I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that the beginning part of the show was all pre-recorded, set, ready to go, and then the news Ozzy died popped up, and so I ended up just kind of keeping the show the same, but I gave out that warning at the beginning part of the show yesterday saying, hey, Ozzy passed. I know about it. I'm not trying to ignore it on this show, but ended up doing that 3-hour-long tribute when, if I could have, I would have done the whole afternoon, just Ozzy Black Sabbath tracks. He had so many great hits. So, yeah, we'll do a different To Peach Their Own this afternoon. I think I found a great question for it, and hopefully pretty soon I'll get that interview uploaded on our YouTube channel, KBEAR 101 RMG, my interview with Molly of the band Living Dead Girl. Again, KBEAR 101 RMG on YouTube. In the midst of all this Ozzy stuff, we are still giving away tickets for Weird Al Yankovic. I mentioned in the previous break we gave out our first pair to Cammie. Yeah, her name was Cammie. She's saying her little parody of Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza, instead of Tiny Dancer from Weird Al. Not from Weird Al, but from Elton John, I should say. But she won tickets for Weird Al at the Mountain America Center on August 8th. Very excited for that show. We only have a few pairs left, so be on the lookout for that cue to call. And when you hear it, be caller 20 at 208-535-1015. And then also we're giving away tickets to a nice punk show down in Pocatello on August 1st. Yeah, it's coming up soon. Dropkick Murphys, Bad Religion, and the Mainliners. Victor is going to be interviewing Tim Brennan of the Dropkick Murphys on Zoom on Thursday, and that'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel, I believe, at KBEAR 101 RMG. For that contest, all you got to do is be caller 20 at 208-535-1015 to score your pair of tickets for that awesome show. And also, if you want to buy our tickets, you can find it on our concert calendar as well at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. I did see yesterday it got announced that this band's going to be doing their Dia de los Deftones out in San Diego. Let's play the latest track, My Mind is a Mountain, on Peach's Pip Party on KBEAR 101. A Los Angeles Chargers fan has filed a lawsuit against the team for scheduling their season-opening game against the Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil. Devin Abney accuses the Chargers of breach of contract and false advertising. Abney is pointing out that the Chargers policy states if the team plays the game elsewhere than SoFi Stadium, or if it is canceled and not rescheduled, the sole remedy shall be a refund of the original ticket purchase price. But when Abney asked the Chargers for a refund of the ticket, he was denied. Abney is looking to expand it into a class action suit with other ticket holders and is seeking unspecified damages. WWE fans have something to look forward to in a couple of weeks as SummerSlam 2025 will be shown on the silver screen live in certain Regal cinemas across the United States. The event will be held on August 2nd and 3rd at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, but tickets to see it in theaters are available now on the Fandango website. New York Mets All-Star shortstop Francisco Lindor has added talk show host to his resume. He's launched a new series called Café con Lindor. Each month, Lindor will sit down with a guest to talk about their life and their love of coffee. Lindor says coffee is an amazing time to have conversations, to just talk about anything. To be quite honest, it just brings people together, is what he says. The first episode is with rapper Action Bronson and is up on YouTube. And it sounds awful lot like comedians in cars doing or drinking coffee. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on KBEAR 101. I'm sure Victor had this same list pulled up on the morning show because we talked about it on Freak News at 7:45, closer to 8 a.m. This morning. The craziest things Ozzy Osbourne ever did. There's 26 things on here. The 26 craziest things Ozzy Osbourne ever did. And it just says number 1, arrested and convicted for burglary. Yeah, he graduated high school at 15, which I don't know why that's included here. But before Ozzy turned 18, he was arrested and convicted of burglary and sentenced to 3 months in prison. Ozzy had to do the time because his father refused to pay the fine. Then there's also a story about how he got revenge on his teacher while still in school. Ozzy's metal shop teacher, Mr. Lane, often punished Ozzy by slapping him on the butt with a big piece of wood. So to get even, Ozzy liked to heat a penny for 3 or 4 minutes and then slip it into Mr. Lane's desk. At some point, Mr. Lane, out of curiosity, would pick up the penny and just, yow, Ozzy would get a good laugh after that. He worked at a slaughterhouse, stuck with a purple nose for weeks while singing with Earth. The band would eventually become Black Sabbath. Ozzy, in an effort to always play the clown, would do just about anything to get the audience's attention. One time he found some purple paint backstage, covered his nose with it. Unfortunately, the paint was it indelible? Is that the word? Didn't wear off for weeks. Drove drunk to the hospital. There's so much crazy stuff that I wish I could share on this list too. Angrily shot a bunch of cats? What is this? In those days, Ozzy and Thelma had lots of new cars. When Thelma's brand new Mercedes inexplicably got all these scratches on it, Ozzy investigated and discovered that stray cats were climbing on it while it was kept in the garage. So one night, Ozzy snuck into the garage, whipped out his shotgun, and blasted. Oh, okay, let's move on from that here. All right, I finally got it uploaded, my interview with Molly of Living Dead Girl. You can find it on our YouTube, KBEAR 101 RMG. It's about 23 minutes long. I didn't expect it to be that long. She was one of those interviewees where in the beginning she didn't really say much. I don't know what happened there. I was watching other previous interviews and she was quite talkative with me. In the very beginning, she just gave out like 5-word responses. I'm like, okay, well, I need to obviously my shoulders hurt after that conversation because I was carrying it the entire time. No, I'm just messing. Molly was a fun guest. Like I said, you can catch that on our YouTube channel, KBEAR 101 RMG, titled Peaches Sits Down with Molly of Living Dead Girl. You can find it on our Facebook as well. The link to it, KBEAR 101 FM. Man, I finally watched the Howard Stern Best of Ozzy Moments on the show. That video wasn't posted recently. It was posted a year ago. I don't know why they posted it back then. Maybe it was just a nice little tribute. They just collected all the footage and said, sure, why not? They probably knew Ozzy was on his way out, so why not post a 30-minute compilation of Ozzy on the Howard Stern show? And some of the stories Ozzy said on that show, the whole family was featured at multiple times throughout the years on the Howard Stern show, and it's they're hilarious. What was one of them that I was really laughing at? Oh yeah, there was this. You know how in Southern California there are those tours, those bus tours, and they drive around. They show you the outside of celebrities' homes. They'll take you to like the ritzy part of Beverly Hills or whatever, and you'll drive by one. It's like, oh, that's what Simon Cowell's front gate looks like. Interesting, neat. Well, Ozzy was apparently outside his house, or out front at least, when one of those bus tours came by. And Ozzy, for some reason, invited them all inside. And the reason why is because he thought they were like his kids' friends for whatever reason. I don't know why. He just thought they were, so he invited them in the house. Sharon comes downstairs and sees a whole bunch of tourists just taking pictures inside. You know, and gets mad at him for that. Just one of the many stories that makes Ozzy as legendary as he was. We were just talking about it recently, that list of 26 craziest things that Ozzy has ever done, and that's not even like a recent article either. That was published last year. Should we continue down that list? We talked about how he angrily shot at a bunch of cats for scratching up his cars. He stripped in public. Well, that's barely anything for Ozzy. This is the one that Victor would be most excited to see. I think he already knew about it, but Ozzy, during Ozzy's Diary of a Madman tour in the early 1980s, he would use a catapult to hurl hunks of meat into the audience. Enamored of Ozzy's bizarre routine, young people would bring pieces of animals to the performances. One time a kid brought an ox's head. Jeez. They just threw meat at the audience. Again, Ozzy, there will never be another him. Don't forget, we're giving away those tickets to Weird Al Yankovic live at the Mountain America Center August 8th. If you want those tickets, we're not just going to say, hey, be caller 20. You have to be caller 20 first of all. That's the first part of it. And then once you are caller 20, you then have to, yank that hook is what we're calling it. Essentially what it is that you'll sort of do a parody version of a popular rock or metal song. I know the first winner, Cammie, she did that classic remix of Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza, instead of Tiny Dancer. I was about to say maybe we shouldn't give it to her because that's a classic alternative. That wasn't something she came up with. It was just, but Victor's like, give her the tickets. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to Cammie winning the first pair of tickets. Weird Al Yankovic live at the Mountain America Center August 8th. We only have 2 pairs left to give away, so be on the lookout for that caller 20, and when you do, you better be prepared. I'm just telling you now. A whole lot of interviews coming your way. It's going to be quite crazy. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube, KBEAR 101 RMG. I already uploaded my latest with Molly of Living Dead Girl. I also need to get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever else, the Artist Interrogations podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Tomorrow, I accidentally booked a interview myself while Victor, the same time that Victor is going to be interviewing Tim Brennan of the Dropkick Murphys. Of course, they're going to be in town in Pocatello on August 1st. And make sure to listen out for that cue to call. Be caller 20 when you do at 208-535-1015 to win tickets to that show. Victor will be chatting with Tim. I'll be chatting with some guy named Speed, this band called Silverton. And then next week on Tuesday, I won't be here. I'll be in Salt Lake City. I'm going to be heading down to the Soundwell to go see Scene Queen and Deadlands, and I'll be interviewing Casey Carlson of Deadlands, hopefully in person, on site at the show. Should be a fun time. And a nice little road trip out of town. I'll be gone Tuesday, Wednesday next week, so it should be nice to have a shorter week next week, but make sure to keep an eye on our YouTube channel, KBEAR 101 RMG. If you're not subscribed to us already, change that now. For some reason, this got reposted on my feed. Imagine surviving a train crash, a plane explosion, multiple car accidents, and even getting hit by a bus all in one lifetime. This guy is considered the unluckiest person ever, named Frane Salak, a Croatian music teacher who earned the nickname a world's unluckiest man, or perhaps the luckiest depending on how you see it. His bizarre stories of near-death experiences are so unbelievable that they could make for a killer Hollywood movie script. Now, the reason why I say he may be lucky is that all of this stuff happened to him. Train crash in 62, plane explosion in 63, bus accident in 66, the list goes on. But then, just when you thought the story couldn't get more surreal, it did. In 2003, at the age of 73, he won the lottery. He bagged over $1 million. After decades of escaping death, he finally hit a major stroke of financial luck, but true to his modest nature, he later gave most of the money away, saying that material things didn't bring him happiness. That guy knows, I feel like that guy actually knows what happiness is like, surviving all of that. You're meant to be here. If you survive all of that, you're for sure meant to be here. And of course, there's a bunch of skeptics out there. They've questioned the truth behind the story. I mean, there's no official records or news clippings verifying all the accidents. It's kind of like Wilt Chamberlain with that 100-point game. There's no video footage of it at all anywhere online. But we're supposed to believe that this guy back in the day scored 100 points, had like 55 rebounds. The legend Wilt Chamberlain. Is it true? Is he for real? I would think so. I would think it's even crazier because back then, I mean, there wasn't that crazy of a there wasn't crazy talented players in the league back then, but they were all playing in Converse. That their feet must have been horrible. They must have hated it. Playing basketball in Chuck Taylors. I'm wearing Converse right now. I couldn't imagine running in these, let alone playing basketball in them. Anyway, that's the story of Fran Selak, whatever his name is, Fran Selak. Good for him. And, good for him. And let's move on here. A man was arrested after he got drunk and decided to take his lawnmower for a ride on the highway. And you've probably already guessed where this happened. Florida Highway Patrol received multiple calls about a man driving a lawnmower erratically on the highway, making sudden movements as if he were mowing imaginary grass. Troopers stopped him, suspected he was impaired. If his poor decision-making didn't give it away, his small pupils, flushed skin, dry mouth, and visible irritation to the inside of his nose sure gave that away. He also refused a series of field sobriety tests and was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. Imagine getting hit by this guy. It would suck. Again, this is one of those stories where, maybe Victor could make an advocate's injury attorney spot all about this. I'll make sure to send him the link. And we'll see if he uses it. KBEAR 101, there was a variety of metal shows that I just added to our concert calendar that apparently I missed out on at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Just earlier on the show, I talked about how my next concert is going to be at the Soundwell this upcoming Tuesday. I'm going to be Scene Queen, Deadlands, and I believe there's another band called Girly on that lineup. It's called the Hot Singles in Your Area Tour, something like that. It's pretty funny. If you haven't heard of Scene Queen, I would play one of her songs on the air, but there would be a whole lot of editing involved, and the subject matter just wouldn't be passable. I don't know. You just listen to them for yourself and see what I'm talking about. Scene Queen, Deadlands at the Soundwell. I'll be at that show, hopefully interviewing Casey Carlson, the lead singer, who I have had on the show before via Zoom, but this will be in person, which is always a great time for sure to hang out with rock stars backstage. There was that one time I talked about how I interviewed Jolly from Bad Omens, and then I had to go follow the Bad Omens tour manager around the Union down in Salt Lake, and I got lost in the back of the venue, and one of the dudes in Era saw me walking around and was like, hey, this guy looks like he needs help, and escorted me to the exit. So shout out to the guys in Era. Shout out to that one dude in Era. Not exactly sure who it was, but I also ran into Noah of Bad Omens doing laundry back there, so didn't say hi to him. He was just quietly folding these tank tops or whatever. It's pretty funny. One of my funny rock star stories, Unlike Lou Brutus or Jose Metal Ambassador Mangan, I have very few of those. So you should go check out our concert calendar. Always available at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. I just updated it today with a few more, one of the few more of those underground metal shows that I know a good portion of our audience would enjoy. They would like to see those on there. This band is going to be in Salt Lake City, I believe, on August 7th. I so badly wanted to go to that show. I believe Era will be opening up for Architects. Architects will be in Salt Lake City. I messed up this break horribly. Find that show, many others like it, on our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Here's Black Hole. I don't know how we haven't talked about this yet, I just saw some girl posted on TikTok. Her name is not Miley Cyrus. She was like, I was listening to the radio and I was just told that there was there is a serial butt slapper on the loose in Boise, but she called it Boise. And sure enough, she got ridiculed in the comments. It's not Boise. It's Boise. Relax. One of the Boise stations, 103.5 KISS FM, did inform her that the radio is very informative. Stay safe, ladies. So, yeah. Apparently, there's a serial butt slapper on the loose in Idaho. Police investigating these dirk bite assaults. All right, good night, everybody. No, Boise police are investigating a string of disturbing incidences after multiple women reported being assaulted by a man on a dirt bike. The unidentified suspect is accused of riding up to unsuspecting women and slapping or grabbing their butts before speeding away. Can't we just keep our hands to ourselves? According to Boise police, the incidences took place between June 18th, July 3rd. So it's kind of a bit of an older thing. Is he still on the loose? Should I scroll to the bottom here? Just says Boise police are urging residents and visitors to remain alert, especially women who may be walking or exercising outdoors. If you see someone matching the suspect's description or witness suspicious behavior, authorities advise calling 911, of course, the usual thing. Why not have an undercover cop go out there and just walk around? The second somebody, drives by, slaps that cop's butt, boom, game over, end. The end of the Boise butt slapper. All right, here we go. Peaches yet again asking another food question for to Peach their own. Why not? What food never loses its spark to you? Today, I went to Taco Bell. I know, again, I got my usual deluxe cravings box with the cheesy gordita crunch, the beefy 5-layer burrito. I'm just going to list off everything that I get. Chips and cheese, the Pepsi, and then as a bonus, I also get that 3-cheese chicken flatbread melt. It sounds like a lot of food, but it really isn't. It's, tiny little things. The 3-cheese chicken flatbread melt, leaked sauce on my shirt, my very nice knocked loose shirt that I'm wearing today. But I could eat that combo every day if I could. I know it looks like I do, but I really don't. Maybe every other day, but not every day. But some of the responses, you have your basic tacos, mac and cheese. You got to be descriptive with your answer. Say tacos, but tacos from where? What do you put on them? Mac and cheese. Do you bake it? Do you make it nice and hefty? Do you make a roux? Go for a thick mac and cheese? Pizza? What kind of pizza are we talking about here? Huh? Let me know. What food never loses its spark to you? 208-535-1015. KBEAR, what's happening?
Hey, you said what's a food that never loses its spark? Yeah,
that's right.
Brisket, man.
Oh.
I could never get enough of brisket. I can eat it till the day that I die. I tell you what.
What place around here has the best brisket? Do you know?
I just moved into town 3 days ago. I could not tell you. I just moved here from Utah, so I could not tell you, unfortunately. I make my own brisket anyway, and it's better anyway.
I'm glad you joined the KBEAR Rock Army as soon as you got here.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed with your station, man. Truly. I was listening outside the grocery store last night. You were playing Lorna Shore. I was absolutely blown away.
That's
because
right.
They don't have anything like that in Utah. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And so I was just amazed, man. That's incredible.
Since you're on here with me, did you want to hear a certain song?
You know what? Let's go with the Sabbath song, I think, if that's not an objection.
Sure.
I'm still feeling, what's going on yesterday. So, if you could, can you do Sweet Leaf?
Absolutely.
Is that possible?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Well, welcome to the area, and thanks so much.
Yeah, I appreciate this. Thank you.
Yeah, you have a good one.
Yeah, you have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Hey, KBEAR, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just calling in to answer your question of the day.
What's that food that never loses its spark to you?
Wild caught, fish, some rainbow trout, and actually fishing it for yourself, not store bought. Going out on the water with the fishing poles and actually catching the fish and going home and cooking it. Get some nice lemon seasoning, on that. It is the best. I will always love that. And it's also not just about the actual fish itself. It's about the entire experience, catching it and gutting it and then cooking it. It's all just an experience in its own.
I'm glad I was able to get some wild-caught rainbow trout when I was out there in Hagerman, and I still need to go out and get my own, like you just mentioned, and finally go fishing after all these years of living here.
Yeah, man, do it. We got lots of spots around here. Like, there's tons of places, even just off like a dock or something.
Yeah, sure.
You don't need like a boat or anything like that. Like, there's plenty of spots.
I wouldn't know how to, properly gut it, so I'll probably have to YouTube or watch a YouTube video on it while I'm doing it and see how terrible it turns out. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.